Hi, this is Damien Foley, and this is my MBA journey at the Melbourne Business School. I've just done my second class for tonight for term two, which is financial management. And as part of that, I'll also be going through some suggestions around how to set yourself up for doing e-learning or working from home using Zoom as well. Um, Basically just a bit of a recap on what it was actually financial accounting tonight as my second subject. So financial accounting and financial management. Went through financial accounting, and basically the first class was about understanding the different financial statements that are used as part of a lot of major corporate companies. So that's the balance sheet, the profit and loss or income statements, then also the cash flow statement, and then there's the shareholders' equity statement, and all these other different types of statements. So I think there's 5 different types of statements. I come from an accounting background, but we just know that the 3 main statements that we would use was the balance sheet, the profit and loss, which is now known as the comprehensive income statement, and the other one, not so much. We used to also use the cash flow, prepare those, but balance sheet and the profit and loss were the 2 main ones that we would use when I was working for in accounting practices, and also for when I worked in as a commercial accountant or worked inside a company. So yes, they've added all these other different statements, which are just components of the balance sheet and the profit and loss statements, just separated or broken down even further. So that's what we've gone through. So went through and we looked at annual reports as far as their financial statements. Went through there, looked at the notes that are part of that, understanding the difference between the different components of the balance sheet, which is the assets, which equals the liability plus owner's equity. Understanding the difference between current assets and non-current assets, as well as current liabilities and non-current liabilities. So, and then from that, there's also understanding what revenue and expenses are. So yeah, that's what we've basically gone through for the better part of this first class for financial accounting. The other component that I'll talk about is e-learning from the perspective of setting yourself up at home. Again, I'm operating from my bedroom, and over the back here is this point in time is my makeshift desk for working from while I'm doing this. So I've gone through and based on last night and tonight, I've put together a couple of points that I've realised that if you want some hints and tips around how to set yourself up for doing e-learning, these are probably some tips that I've come up with. And a mate of mine, one of our other colleagues that I do the uni with, do the MBA with, asked for some tips. So these are the ones I sent through off the top of my head. So the first one is with Zoom. It is the platform that we're using for the video conferencing. Set up a virtual background. The only reason I say that is that I realised for these classes so far, everyone has been able to, for last night's class and for a part of tonight's class, everyone got to see my bedroom. You see it now, but there's really not much in it, to be honest, except a bed. So that's probably the first thing. Set up a virtual background. So if you want to keep a bit of privacy to what's going on in behind you, especially if there's people moving in behind you, then set up that virtual background, and you can YouTube out how to do that. The next one is obviously find a space for yourself to set up, and ideally in a room that's away from other people. So one, you're not disturbing them, but also for yourself, that you're not being disturbed yourself. As part of that, I would also suggest that you actually, if you can, and if you have kids, you'll probably say this isn't going to work. But if you have adult housemates, the suggestion I have is to put up a do not disturb sign. The only reason I say that is because tonight I was in the middle of a lecture at about 6:30, 7 o'clock, and had a knock on the door from my housemate, who kindly was offering to make me a hamburger for dinner tonight. But yeah, so if I had been in the middle of the talking in the middle of that, then it would have been very audible. Would have been audible coming through that I could hear him in the background. So do not disturb sign would work pretty well for that. The other one is headsets and microphones. Probably what I'm noticing is I've just got my laptop and I do have a microphone, but I don't have headsets to jack into. I actually broke my the set that I come with my mobile phone, so I can't connect up to my computer for doing that. So I'll probably look at having to just invest into a pair of headsets with a mic as well to attach with that. I know they do range in price, varying. So but I do suggest to look at investing into those just to improve the sound quality and listening quality as well when you're talking or listening or using the Zoom. The suggestion that we were given by Melbourne Business School also for setting this up is to also use an alternate Wi-Fi connection. So the suggestion was that if you've got, say, your home or you're using your work connection, to also have ideally another secondary option there. So for example, if you've got Wi-Fi available on your phone that you can connect with to hotspot to, have that as a backup. So that way you can still maintain the connection to and be involved with the class while it's going on Zoom. So I do actually know people that are trying to work, and they were working this week in a location that has NBN, and they actually had to use their Wi-Fi hotspot on their mobile because the NBN was out. So they're trying to run a business which actually helps people with everything that's going on at the moment with the COVID-19 supply, medical supplies. So wasn't going down. That didn't actually go down too well. The other one is to have ideally two separate screens. So if you've got, I've only got a laptop at this point in time. What I want to do is later on, when I get a actual desk set up here, I'll also bring in a second monitor from work. So I'll have my laptop and my work monitor, and I'll have dual screens going. The reason I suggest that is because when we're doing work, I would ordinarily at university have the lecturer in front of me, which would be one screen, and then another screen that I would have is on my laptop would be for the work that I've done as part of the prep work, perhaps the notes if I'm writing notes beside it. So it saves you having to jump in and out between screens between the lecturer Zoom meeting, conference call, and the work that you've got on screen as well. So I had to jump in between. So if I had two screens, that would have worked a lot better. So yeah, they're my tips for doing e-learning at this time. Obviously, as a few more go through, I will just make comment. Have reached out to a couple of my other student cohort that I would ordinarily be doing this with. A couple have said that because of everything that's going on with COVID-19 and the uncertainty around their work or the fact that they're actually working from home, they're just taking a break for this term. So it's just not realistic for them to be actually studying at this point in time. So that's perfectly natural, especially the working from home if they've got a young family. So, or I have another friend who's a student colleague who started a new job and is pretty intense in that role. So he's taking a break for that. So yes, that's my bit of a rundown for my first class of financial accounting, and just my experience and tips for doing e-learning using Zoom while working from home. Okay, guys, I'm going to sign out, and again, I'm going to use this because I can't remember. You can. This is Damien Foley, and this is my MBA journey at Melbourne Business School. You can follow me on YouTube at Damien Foley. You can follow me on my website at www.damienfoley.com/MBA. There's LinkedIn at Damien Foley 1. And Facebook, Damien Foley Official, and Instagram is DG Foley. Okay, guys, I'll catch you around next time. See ya. Bye.